Anthony Hernandez, welcome to the podcast, man.
Tim, thank you for having me. It's just an honor and a pleasure to be here. So.
Yeah, dude, it's great to have you here. You came all the way from South Orange County, so thank you so much for driving up here. And you're our first podcast back since the event, which you were at, First Responders Night of Hope, which was great. By the way, nice watch, dog.
Dude,
that's what I'm talking about, dude. I just got another one in. Okay. It's so nice, dude.
Yeah, the wife was like, "What's going on with the watch and the shoes, and you got to come a little swag, a little style."
No, it's all good, man.
Yeah,
I dig it, dude. So everybody knows you are also a fellow firefighter, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and now we usually don't say kind of who we work for around here, but how long have you been a firefighter?
Yeah, no, I get that, and I generally don't like to say where I'm at because of my position now as a peer support outside the departments.
Okay.
So they could possibly have some pushback and go like, no, we've always had a peer support, and this guy's off the charts, which maybe I am. So anyway, so what was that again?
No, you're good. You're good. How long have you been in the fire service?
So professionally, 15, and then overall EMS, I did 20. So
like paramedic stuff.
Yeah.
Or?
So I was on a private with a private company. So I did that for a few, and then I got picked up with the United States Forest Service as a seasonal wildland.
Hey, that's where I started, bro.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, the green machine, dog.
Dude.
That's the hardest work I've ever done in my entire life.
Yeah, the khaki button up.
My gosh.
Yeah. I was down on the, south region, and so, yeah, we saw quite a bit down there.
Right on, dude. Yeah, I started on the Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah, I was up there, Oak Flat, Los Alamos, did some other stuff. So it was a strong base. I mean, I was 18 years old. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
It was either that or join the military.
Dude, that's exactly what was my route. Yeah. I actually took the ASVAB for the Marine Corps.
Oh, I did for the Army because my dad's, he's a lifelong Green Beret.
Yeah.
So, we tend to follow in our father's footsteps. So I was thinking, hey, I'll go that route. But I was doing the explorer thing as a kid from 15 to like 18. And he's like, I don't know if you want to do what I did. Why don't you try that fire thing for a little bit? So I ended up taking my fire classes, and I went through the Rio Hondo Wildland Fire Academy, and then I got picked up with the Forest Service, and that's kind of how my career started.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah,
mine was, the military was given to me by way of, getting in some early trouble. And so
my man.
a buddy's father came up to me and he's like, you need to do something. And so go to, fill out the application.
Yeah.
And my mom, who means everything to me, raised by a single mom, was freaking out. And so we had some family in the fire department, and so they sat me down and they handed at me, the EMT and what direction to take, and then going into the department and what that could look like. And I was like, I don't think I can do that. I just didn't have that confidence enough.
Yeah.
But I took it baby step, and so made it.
That's rad, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went from Forest Service, and then when you got hired municipal, were you already a paramedic?
No.
Then? Okay.
I came in at an earlier stage of the game when we really didn't have a whole lot of paramedics.
Okay.
And so they were starting to pay for and send people to the paramedic program. So I was like, yeah, dude, I was like, nice. I can't, but it's free. So I'm going to, I just didn't have a whole lot of confidence. But after everything, step by step, I started to build some of that, and ended up going and I became a firefighter medic.
Dude, yeah, I did the firefighter medic thing for too long. 13 years was a little bit too long.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I promoted up. I was like, oh, wow, I got way too comfortable. I should have promoted way earlier.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's what I tell myself. I was so burned out, dude. You kind of lose that. I remember you lose the empathy. You start seeing things that should be shocking, and you're like, whatever. That was for dinner. So I was like, man, I need to change here.
So the 15 I had, I remember sitting at the station. We had a rookie, and it was around Christmas time, and he was like, man, I can't wait to catch a fire. And I'm like, dude, shut up, sit back. Yeah. I do not want to be out in the cold. I do not want somebody's house catching on fire during Christmas.
Right.
I don't want to be cleaning hose, hanging it, ringing it, whatever. And so, yeah, it kind of starts to wear on you where you really don't want to be, you know?
Yeah. And it's one of those things too, where it's, when you're newer, it's kind of like, yeah, let's fight fire. But then you start understanding, when you wish you had fire, you're wishing for someone to have their worst day and lose all their belongings and maybe die. You know what I'm saying? So you're kind of like, oh, damn, like maybe I don't want to fire, you know, because it's such a bummer for those people. That's terrible. They're losing their home, their belongings, you know?
Yeah, I'm being that Ricky Rescue, and we're all sitting in the day room in the recliners, you know, and we're like, every now and then somebody would, you know, actually have a really good thought and go, there's something wrong with all of us because we're all waiting for the worst to happen.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that we're all trained and we're all ready to go when it does.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Now, you're a big proponent on mental health, correct?
Yes.
And you have an organization? Oh, you support one?
Yeah, so I work for one.
You work for one, okay.
So the parent company is Acera Health, and the first responder and veterans program is Frontline Behavioral Wellness. Excuse me. So Frontline Behavioral Wellness is the veteran and first responder program that I'm really psyched to be working for, in the aspect that, one, they put me under the clinical team, which I don't understand how a firefighter can be under a clinical department like that and have and do some of the things they've allowed me to do, hands-on peer support. And so when I've gone to peer support trainings, when I've gone to and spoke at those peer support trainings, whether they be agencies or departments, and at the trainings themselves now, they don't get a lot of that hands-on, and they're kind of waiting, you know, in a more reactionary position, unfortunately. And I only came by way of that because of me battling things. Okay. And I mean, my checklist is unfortunate, but fortunate. So, you know, suicide and alcoholism, PTSD, hypervigilance, I mean, insomnia, you can check that list off. And so when I got a call to go work for a mental wellness facility, I hesitated and didn't know really what I could offer, especially under the clinical end. And I just got to give a shout out to Dr. Maribel Contreras, who is actually the one who picked me up and dropped me into the clinical department and got some trainings and was able to do like quite a bit with, I call them our guests, with our guests that come in.
Okay. Where's this place located?
So we're located in Costa Mesa, Orange County region, but we have residences throughout Orange County.
Okay.
I see. Our center is in Costa Mesa.
Now, did you feel like you're being pulled, like doing this? Did it feel like you're kind of out of your comfort zone? I'm sure it felt like that. Yeah,
I didn't know what I had to offer. I didn't know, you know, if my story was a same old, same old. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who would really want to hear a sob story. And so really didn't know what impact it could have. But just like I had told my mom going into the department was, if I can just save one, I can retire.
Oh, I like that.
And so when I did leave the department, man, I was battling. And again, my mom sat with me and she's like, you know what, son, there's more than one way you can save a life. And so
Go on. I know. I like that, dog.
You know,
that's good. That's really good.
So, you know, she pulled out a lot of gems when I was starting to lose that identity. Yeah. Like I said, like the confidence, you know, coming up as a kid, I just didn't have it. And then being able to accomplish something like going into the department was really special. And leaving it was, you know, just kind of just put my world upside down, and I got lost.
I'm sure everyone tells us getting in the fire service, right? It's the best job in the world. Yeah. You know, you get this many days work and this many days off, when really it's a lie, people. Okay, we get forced all the time. We don't work just 10 days a month. Okay, we work a lot. But yeah, what other job do you get to start your day with a coffee break? Right, hang out with your buddies, do your thing. So I can see how even for me, if I were to leave right now, I'd be like, whoa, like this is interesting. Yeah. You know, this is all I've kind of prepped for my entire life. But for me, things have kind of changed because I want to make sure I say this the right way. I would say my first 5 to 8 years, I kind of bought into the bravado of the fire service, where it's like, come to work every day, work as much as you can, get back to the fire department, rah, rah, rah. We're firefighters.
Which, by the way, I'm going to apologize for being a little late because, as we know in the fire service, and you're talking about the early stages of it, like if you're 15 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah.
You know? So, in any case.
Yeah. But I think I kind of bought into that, where in reality now, I kind of, after injuries and the politics of the fire service, and the fire service has changed a lot since I've been on. I only have 17 years, but...
Nice.
Yeah, it's
Thank
one of
you
those.
for your service.
No, stop, dude. Oh, they should pay your taxes. But it just, you start to realize, and I hate to say this, but you know, it comes down to money and politics is what I've come to see, at least in certain departments. And you know, at least we try to keep that camaraderie station level. But really, at the end of the day, when people go off on mental health or injuries or cancer or whatever, you get a thanks for working for us. Here's a certificate and a badge, and they replace you with someone cheaper or younger, and they move on. And that wheels keep spinning on those fire engines, and they keep responding to calls and do their thing. And I'll be real, like we get emails about guys passing away all the time, right? Retired guys, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't know who they are.
And that's where we kind of fall through the cracks.
Yeah,
I was retired and 10 years out. So I didn't have an HR to go to. I didn't have EAP. I definitely did not have peer support. I mean, I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah.
And there's some people that still ask me like, what is that? And breaking that down for them. So, I feel you on that. And going in thinking that, you know, all right, I'm going to make a difference. And we do.
Yeah.
But, like you said, getting the certs and then handed like once there's trouble, you know, and I think that's a bigger message too to bring across is getting a little bit of relief as your career goes on to sustain, to maintain.
Like yeah.
You know, and so it's not bad that you're, you know, taking that time you need. And we all say self-care, and I say be sure that it's self-care, not selfish care. And so making sure that, you know, we're not out there and, you know, I deserve this and, you know, this is something that, you know, I earned, and, you know, just being mindful of how we go about caring for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, gosh, the self-care.
Come on, dude, that deserves a bell. I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm like thinking where this conversation's going. Well, the self-care is important, right? Because gosh, we can get called to work overtime or take all these classes we're trying to promote, trying to be involved and all that stuff. But if you don't watch it, your job will take over most of your time, and then you don't realize you're suffering, but now your family's suffering, right? This is why the huge fight for better contracts, right? More money, right? Because what you're trying to do is get paid more, work less. Because what we're fighting for is time, which people don't understand. You're trying to make more money by working less with better contracts so you can be home more and not have to pick up extra shifts, which in turn you're giving of your time so you can make that money, which something's going to suffer there, right?
Right.
The more you work, your family's going to suffer. The less you work, you might not have as much money, but now you're home and you're present, you can relax, you can defuse, right? So it's trying to find that even balance of your work, your private life, but also self. And that's something I've worked on very much so, I would say, in the last 2 years, and trying to figure out and realizing, like for me, I mean, you're at the event, you heard me speak, but I came to this realization and coming back to my faith, like I'm going to do well with what I've been given and what I've worked hard for, but I'm not going to make it my God. I'm not going to sit there and try to make all this money and buy toys and do all this stuff because I can't even take it with me when I die. None of this is coming with us. Not our bank accounts, all your certifications at work, whether you're a captain, firefighter, engineer, or chief, whatever. When you die, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
None of it. So it was like, dude, it was just like this epiphany. I was like, what am I doing with my time? Where am I putting my time?
I mean, I just was like I'm going to say it. I was self-absorbed and just so involved with the department. And what I did was like, I'm going like to do all these overtimes, not just one to make the money because it's good, but that need to be there and feel wanted.
Yeah, I got you.
So going back to the God thing, if I can just real quick do a shout out.
Yeah.
One, first and foremost, it's a part of my story.
Yeah.
And, I even, speak of it when I group facilitate because it is my story that I'm telling. And so in that, God, my Lord, my Savior, I'm not religious. It's spiritual. There's a relationship there.
Let's go, baby.
That I need to consistently have contact with. Just as we're talking, I talk to him. I do formal prayers. I just do communication prayers. I just do, today it's just worship. Yeah. It's just being in that gratitude state. And while I do that, it's a form of my meditation. Mm. And so, trying to keep realigning with that throughout the day is something that, I'm just so blessed for. Yeah. And in that shout out, I have to give it to my wife, Claudia. I love you,
Claudia.
And she stuck it out with me, and her foundational piece was God. Mm. And so individually having that, and then in our marriage having it, really tells the resiliency. Yeah, it is because of him. Mm-hmm. And so she's a major reason why I'm here today, like physically here with my last attempt.
Got you.
And not to trigger anybody out there, but reach out, various hotlines if you're feeling in a certain way.
Yeah.
And also too, I have my peer support now. I have, amazingly, like I had said, Dr. Maribel Contreras. There's Cassandra Enoch. She's our clinical manager. We have a new clinical director who, Mary Lawrence, who I go to, and I'm mindful of who's in my godly counsel. And I've been able to express freely if I'm in an area of discomfort and get vulnerable. And thankfully, over time and practice, I've been able to get to those places and not necessarily say I don't care, but I'm in good hands to be able to do it and not feel this huge weight that we've possibly have felt in the department. Mm. And I'm not trying to bash on the department, but it's like you had mentioned earlier, the bravado of it, that if something of any sort is wrong, red flags are going up with your station, with the battalion, with your chief, and it's just a real no-no. I just want to make sure I can get those props out. And Maria Rendon is also a special woman that at work, and this is at work. Mm-hmm. So if I can get vulnerable at work and in a safe space and have a godly counsel at work, I love the fact that we're promoting our veterans, first responders to get in those places, mm-hmm. and that we're actually doing it.
Right.
They actually have done it with me. Yeah. So I just wanted to give that quick shout out. And
so those people that you just talked about, did I meet some of them at the event?
Yes.
Okay.
So you did. That night of hope mm-hmm. was just an amazing thing. I just want to give you a shout out for that.
Oh, man. It's all good, dude.
It really sets a special place when you can start to bring boldly that belief in God mm-hmm. and have no reluctance, no, just going self-abandon of who you are and putting forth a belief so others could. Ooh, I'm getting chills. And so, having our team there in support of that, and then just the story of it behind, the Night of Hope is just it's just heart melting. I don't know if you want to.
Oh my man!
Yeah, share on that. Ashley Iverson, right?
Yeah, Ashley Iverson and her husband. He was unfortunately taken from this earth, and he was an engineer working for Cal Fire, and he was unfortunately killed on a fire, and what she had gone through, and then just my own personal life and walking from my faith, and being a prodigal son, and
so my man over here just follows God, hears him, and puts this huge night up for now it's
What's that? Which one?
So her foundation.
Oh, Iverson Foundation.
Yeah. Okay. So hears God, follows the direction, puts up this major service benefit for the foundation. And so what he's talking about is our company came out and we had a booth to set for mental wellness and to be there and have a presence.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was a lot of work putting that together. And then also getting up there and speaking. That was the first time I've ever, I guess you can call it a sermon.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
testimony. I've never written a sermon. I was just like, whatever. I feel like I'm supposed to talk, so I'm just going to do this. Just to tell it how it is,
Here's a cool thing with that service. It was.
Yeah.
Was that in every scripture that you had given, you put your experience in it. It made it so relatable. Like, so, I mean, for me, I was just, I almost had to sit down when people were respectfully standing up.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I got to sit down. This is a cool wave of anointing.
Wow. I appreciate that. It's good to hear because I don't know.
You don't know.
No one tells you. No one tells you. You just do the event and do the stuff and everyone leaves. You're like, I hope it went great.
Yeah. How was it? How was the service? Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to rate it. I mean, I don't know what to rate it, right?
Yeah.
Going to have humility here. I don't know.
Yeah. It was interesting. And I was pretty nervous to get up there and speak, although I typically do well public speaking. I'm okay. Just from teaching out of college and, doing fire academies and all this stuff. You're always up in front of people. And I think even our job, right? We're in front of people we don't even know. But it was amazing when it was like, all right, here we go. And I got up there and spoke. It just, this peace that came over me and how I'd worked on that for, about a week, over and over, and taking things out, putting things in. What scripture am I going to use? What demonstrations? What part of my life? And this and that. And being so nervous to do it, and then just having this peace and comfort of like, just tell them what I've done for you. Tell them, like, I'm not looking for perfection. Looking at the heart. I want the person. I want a relationship. Like you said, I don't want religion. I'm out on religion, dude. That's not me.
Yeah.
I've been a part of that. And
that legalism.
It's empty. There's nothing there, So to put this night on and kind of feel called to do that was a lot. I was scared. I was nervous, but I was like, well, what do we got to lose? Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
that was my whole thing, dude.
I mean, we can go in so many different directions and very easy to talk with. I think that what I wanted to say was that when you were talking about like, what direction can I go and how does this feel? I think, your first instinct was correct, right? You just followed God.
Yeah.
And then into the service doing that.
Yeah.
And I was given some advice too, and I try to continue to follow it. So it was a 12-step meeting. It was a speaker meeting, which the speaker goes for 45 minutes, and then you have a short speaker who's 15 minutes.
Okay.
And so as I was kind of writing some of my experience out to give the experience the strength and hope, this lady tapped me on the shoulder and she's like, "It's not about you." And I was like, "Well, okay. I mean, that's kind of rude, but all right." She's like, "It's not about you." She's like, "Pull you out of it, put God in it."
Let's go.
And I go,
let's go.
And I go, you know what? Father God, like, less ego and pride, more humility, and Holy Spirit, bring those words and how that goes. It takes a lot of pressure off.
Yeah.
And two, I believe it's got that more blessed and anointing than that I could possibly ever imagine, and I think that for me, I just looked around, dude, and I saw people raising their hands. I saw people just, in the moment, being present. That's a new high for me, to be able to remain here.
Yeah.
Every moment of the way. And that meditation with God is, again, a huge component in my daily life. On my drive up here, it was nothing but me and him.
Yeah.
I didn't play music. And I'm a big music fan. And I just started to think about him and, seeing me just come to him and relax and go, he's got this. I've come this far that he hasn't taken me this far to only bring me this far.
Let's go.
And so I get to let go.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an paradox, but the more I surrender and let go, the more I win.
Yeah. I feel you on that one, man. That's kind of how it came to, like, when the days leading up to that event last week. I was stressed, bro. I was like, what am I doing? Like, I don't talk in front of people. This is crazy. And it was, for me, the first time coming back to my faith where it's like, I'm really stepping out in faith in this. I have no idea how it's going to work. I hope this goes well. Like, even the musicians were professional musicians. They did great. We never rehearsed. Like, that was the first time we all played together, dog.
No.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm talking like we got there, ran through each song one time. It's like, well, cool. I think hopefully we do okay, and it went amazing.
Yeah.
They did great.
Wow.
They were great.
Because, like I said, I'm a music fan, and I key in on people. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to watch the drums for a minute. Yeah, that's nice, dude. Way to go. And I was keying in on people, and, I was like seeing you, and I'm like, hit the note,
Yeah.
But you guys did well.
It was great, dude.
Yeah.
And then just getting up there and even what I was talking about, I just wanted people to know the hope that I have found, that security, that presence, and having a future and inheritance. And it's like, my goodness, like, people need to know this. People need to understand, like, this is so much deeper than they think, what it's going to do for your life, the direction it's going to bring, and the peace. You can't put a price tag on peace. I say that all the time. To have that peace is just amazing.
Yeah.
It's gosh, I wish everyone would believe, but it's sometimes I look at people, honestly, Anthony, I'm kind of like, so, because even now I'll put stuff up, like I put up video of me speaking, but it was just my, the word captions and stuff. And there were a few people, I think it was like TikTok, people like, oh, nice to believe in a fairy tale, huh? I'm just like,
oh man,
come on, bro. But trust me, the more I've talked about my faith, the more messages I get that aren't the nicest. But I don't care. I'm not doing it for any of them. But sometimes I want to say, like, so why not believe in something that actually gives you peace? Why not believe in something that will give you hope, direction, comfort, redemption, forgiveness? Because I've been in a place where I didn't have any of that, and it was terrible. It was hopeless. So why not believe in it? Why not err on the side of caution, maybe, and think, if this is actually true and happening, and I can experience this, I'm going to give this a shot. Instead of, oh, nice fairy tale. I'm like, what? Like, dude, it's a free gift. I sometimes want to say that. You guys, it's free. Like, he loves you.
I want to tell you this. You have made it possible for me to be bold. You've made it possible by you speaking freely. Because as I was thinking about what I'm going to say on the show, what I'm going to talk about, what topics and which direction we're going to go, and then I was praying and like pulling myself out and putting more of God in.
Yeah.
I was thinking about how far you put yourself out there and just cut loose. I mean, from what I saw. And so I just want to thank you for doing that, because even in this show, like sitting here right now, I'm like, you know what, dude? That's it. God show. Here we go. Hashtag God strong.
My man.
So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's nerve-wracking, but I mean, to me, finding this true faith, and it is in Jesus, it does give you a boldness because it's true. And I know it's true because he's changed me. And I've seen the change where I've lived a different lifestyle. I've messed up huge, and to feel that forgiveness, to feel that redemption, and then to feel that hope, knowing I have a future and that no matter what, he's going to guide me. Is life still going to be hard at times? Absolutely. He promises us that. John 16:33, baby. You will face trials and tribulations. Like, it's coming.
All day long.
But I got you. I overcame the world. So it's kind of like, whatever happens is going to be cool. Like, it may hurt, may be difficult, but he's got me. And there's nothing in this world that offers that. There's nothing. There's no drug. There's no relationship.
Correct.
There's no job. There's nothing that offers you that. There's nothing. And I've tried it. Trust me when I say I've tried everything, I've tried it all.
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing that gives you that.
Unfortunately.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you actually truly find that and it's such a, it just hits you so deep in your soul that it's something that touches you that nothing else can touch. It's indescribable. How do you get that to people? How do you even tell people like, you guys come on, like this is free. And it comes down to love.
So I got a tough question for you.
Sure.
How do you, it's a trick question, but how do you give someone or tell someone hope when they're not feeling it, when it's the darkest? It's really for me to put into words because I battled major depression, and this is kind of where I'm going with this is people, we use depression, for me, a little loosely nowadays, like, oh man, I'm so depressed. Like, whoa, wait a minute. I got a little chip on my shoulder about it. I'm like, wait a minute. Are you depressed or are you sad?
Yeah.
Because for me, there's a difference. It gets dark. Mm-hmm. The apathy is so overwhelming that it puts you in that scary state.
Yeah.
That now how because I wasn't receiving it.
Yeah.
Growing up in the church, and mom had us in downtown Compton and in LA going to like 8-hour power hours of church.
Let's go,
bro.
Yeah, dog.
Backflips. I'm on the pew.
Yeah.
Everybody's sweating and fanning, and having that faith or growing up in it, like lost it.
Same. Yeah.
So how would you?
I would say a lot of times for others, because I have dealt with this in the past year with a few people who've been in some pretty bad situations, and it wasn't anything that I said. It was just being present and showing up. And there's a lot of times I will always kind of tell them, there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to help you right now, but the best thing I can do is just pray for you. And it's almost like my story when I was finally in my bed, curled up in a ball, crying, like, please help me. That's all I could say.
Yeah, fetal
yeah,
position.
You can't get anything out. And there comes a point, I would almost say, when people are so broken and so depressed and so lost and so hopeless, there's nothing anyone's going to tell them. It straight has to come from the Lord. You got to cry out to him.
Beyond us, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you have to. But we can still be that conduit. We can still be present and be with somebody and then be an intercessor, if that makes sense, No,
yeah, and it's amazing how many people, even if they don't believe, it will accept prayer.
Oh, yeah.
But you nailed it, wham, wham. You nailed it with just being present, right? Because if he's living within us, I call him my love light.
Yeah.
And so that love light's going to shine through.
Yeah.
And just by being there.
Yeah.
So there was, no right or wrong answer in that. I was just tricky because there's so many alleyways and avenues that you can go about it.
100%.
And I was just thinking like, yeah, man, how would we do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of times I've just learned.
Because here comes Jesus freaks.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think some people talk too much, like they know it all. And I've experienced that going through hard times. I want to say, hey, why don't you shut your mouth for a second? Let me just talk.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have all the answers. I need to vent right now.
So I want to say this, okay? With agreeing with that is, yes, we need to know the word, but it's not how many scriptures you know. How many are you living?
Oh, let's go.
So just by being in that action.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't need to say, you know what? I'm a Christian. I'm a believer. Maybe I just need to be.
Yeah, I would say, dude, honestly, for me too, most of the time, I don't really tell people I'm a believer. I just I befriend people and just treat them right.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of, that's how I want to show. I don't want to show it through words, but more or less my actions.
Yes.
Am I a perfect person? No, I still have
You're not?
struggles, people. But
come on,
I'm still
Tim.
going. No, but I have noticed a difference just by being there for people and listening to them. It's made such a world of a difference.
Yeah.
Where I don't need to sit here and drop scripture on them or tell them, oh, you've done the wrong thing. Look, we're human. We know when we do wrong. We ain't dumb. You trust me. We all know.
Right. Some sort of conviction.
But it's just showing up. And I've noticed that for my friends and even my family is as long as they just come and they're here, they don't need to say a word. That's enough.
So I did some training, and they called that just sit in the pit. If you don't know what to say, don't say it. Just sit with them.
Yeah.
Right. And there's that presence.
I've noticed that that has worked. Let's say probably like 95% of the time. Just come and hang out. Like when I show up, it's like, hey, we don't need to talk about anything that's tough. Let's go do something.
Yeah.
Let's go get some lunch. Let's go watch a movie. Let's go down to the beach. I love going to the beach. That's my thing. I surf all the time. So it's like, hey, let's go.
Do you know where I live?
Or whatever, You know
where I live.
It's like, oh yeah. My man, you got the capital, baby.
So, I that's a serenity for me, a serenity place.
Oh yeah, you get so grounded there,
Yeah.
So for me, it's not like approaching people, telling them they're bad or whatever. It's like, hey, you're in a bad spot. Let's do something. Let's figure this out. Let's get you out of the house. Let's figure it out. Let's go for a drive. Let's put some sunlight on your face. Let's get those positive endorphins going, and realize like movement is therapy, and we're gonna go from there. And I let them bring it up. I don't bring it. I just like let them finally talk, and it usually happens.
Yeah, just organically.
Yeah, it just happens because they realize I'm not there to condemn them. I'm there to love them. I'm there to help them through their difficult time, and I'm not going to force anything.
Yeah.
Besides just showing you I'm here and I love you. That's it.
I dig that. Talking about the action portion and not having to, state what I am, and just by being it, right? I like to say I'm a human becoming, not a human being.
Yeah.
So I'm evolving consistently, thankfully now.
Yeah.
And so it's real easy. I don't have to understand it. I don't have to agree with it. All I have to do is pour love on it. And what's love? It's the scripture that all say at weddings, 1 Corinthians 13, 1-8. And at the very bottom, right? Love never fails. So whatever your sexuality, whatever your belief system, whatever your ethnic, whatever it might be, all I have to do is pour love on you. And hopefully that anointing in itself is enough.
Yeah.
And bring, again, that love light.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh, I love it, dude.
Yeah. So I'm stoked that you've created, a platform to be able to discuss freely, like whatever it might be, and say, let's go.
Yeah.
It's an incredible thing to, continually pave the way to do that for whomever comes on. So,
it's to give people a voice.
Yeah.
To me, everybody has a story. Everyone is battling something. It doesn't matter whether you are the richest person out there or you're the most destitute living on the street. Like, everyone is dealing with something.
Okay, no lie. So the department I worked for, we did 72 direct and 4 off, unless we got stuck.
Terrible.
So when I came home, dude, I lived in $1 million home. I had a G500 Benzo. I had a 996 Porsche Carrera rally car.
Dang!
I had some trucks. I was on a half acre.
You were living a life, son.
Okay. So talking about not taking it home. And this is where I was. I can save others, but I couldn't save myself.
Oh, man. I've
so-
said that on here so many
yeah.
times. Yeah, I've dealt with that.
So I'd get home. I wouldn't even change out of uniform. I would just dump my gear, throw it in the locker, and I'm off. And screaming home to go drink. So I would be sure that the house was stocked when I left. And when I came home, stop at the liquor store just in case.
Yeah.
In all of what I had, I would come home through the entry gate, if you will, and park. I would walk fully dressed in my Class Bs, and I'd go to the furthest bush of our very front courtyard, sit down and hide, and crack open a tall boy and drink it. That is horrible.
Wow.
A state of affairs to have what we can't take.
Yeah.
And where I should have been the happiest. Right?
Dude, preach. I feel you, man.
And so that started to just become, well, it started long ago, but it was definitely the solution, unfortunately.
Isn't it amazing how we can sit in all this success and yet it means nothing? It's like everyone told us this is the top. This is the creme de la creme, right? This is where you need to be, and you're going to be happy. And you get there, and it's like the most miserable I've ever been in my entire life. It's just like, and I'll tell you,
who said that? And you know what? I know it was multiple, so everybody stepped forward. Everyone stepped forward.
God, it's like, this is it. This is what it's like. You guys, you know, you're going to work this. You're firefighters. Kids love you. Women want to be with you. Men want to be just like you. And this and now you can work overtime, and we can own this house here, do that.
Yeah, the house, the car, the boat, trophy wife.
Yeah, and you're just like, so this is it. Not to be ungrateful, but it's a huge, for me, it was like this letdown that happened. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I'm not happy. I still have problems. I still have issues. And yours is drinking, bro. I could smoke anyone under the table when it came to weed, bro.
Getting competitive, huh?
Oh, dude.
Competitive? Okay.
I know. I was putting weed down, and I was just living in a fog all the time, just to get by. Just living in a fog.
Yeah, dude. That's I'd hallucinate off weed. That was potent. Some people were like, my friends that smoked were like, man, I wish I was you. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't think that's kind of what we're trying to do here.
No,
but drinking was.
And it did, at least to very dark times. But what for you? What do you think it started with your career choice of being in the fire service? That leading up to, you know, how you felt mentally and suicide and all that stuff.
So, no.
Okay.
And yes, it's really difficult. Well, here it is. It's what came first, the chicken or the egg? But I'm going to say that it was a part of my life as a kid. When I looked at since had some healing, I've looked at my childhood. We're going to go back to childhood. Smart. And so I believe why I became a first responder, why I chose that career. So as a kid, all I got to see on mom and dad's side was alcohol, and nobody talked about anything, and all they did was drink. And it was in excess, you know, on both sides. And we can go into multiple stories of uncles and of their drunken behaviors. And I'm not alone. I was a part of that too. But that's all I knew of how you dealt with problems. You know, if there's finances, you're drinking. If there's relational issues, you're drinking. If you're going on a trip, there's drinking. Mm-hmm. So it was always a part of the solution and never without. Mm. So when, high school came around, it was fun. And then in the early 20s, when I started to hit the first responder career, it just was real easy to go to. That's all I ever learned.
Yeah. So, isn't it amazing? Now, like as adults now, and all like going through therapy and all these realizations that we've had in our faith and things we've learned just through life lessons, the impact parents have on their children and how important it is to raise your children right and to realize, like, your kids see more than you think.
Yeah,
they're watching you. They watch what you say. Husbands, they watch how you treat the wife. Wife, they see how you treat the husband. Like, they're watching everything. Yeah. And that's their first demonstration of how to handle things. Hmm. And when I started using Counseling Team International and the therapy, that's the first thing it did. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to go back to your childhood. And I was like, what? Like, how was your childhood? I'm like, oh, it's good.
Yeah.
No, let's talk about your childhood. I'm like, all right. And we start talking. They're like, yeah, that's messed up. I'm like, what?
Yeah. That's abnormal.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, it is?
Wait, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then you start talking more. You're like, well, yeah. And then this happened. And this is what my, parents did here. And this is not to say that my parents are terrible. They tried their best, with
what they had.
They have their own childhood trauma and things. Like, my mom was an African-American woman born in 1951. She had way in the South. So she dealt with racism and a lot of stuff, right?
That's heavy.
Right. And my dad was born in 1941. And they came out from Missouri, and they were very poor living here in Long Beach. Dad was oil rig, so they were just, everything's different. Now you bring those two together, right? Now they're trying to raise their own kids with their own issues. So that's why I say, like, I still have empathy with that, but there's still things that I have to work through that they did that weren't correct.
Well, and it brings it to the point too with me that, so I'm the youngest of four, and we all went through it differently.
Yeah.
It impacted my oldest brother differently.
Yeah.
He had different assignments and chores than I did as the baby of the family.
Yeah.
So, and what's an incredible thing is that I've, like you said, with our parents, they did the best with what they had, and at that point in time could. So just want to say I love you, Dad, and I'm so blessed at the relationship that we have today, and I honor every moment that we have. When I retired, I gave him my
Your badge?
my fire helmet. So I bought it. Gave him. I kept the badge.
Oh, I got yeah. I was like, man, dang, dude, I'll keep that, boy.
So I mean, but my siblings, they all had everybody. For me, it took a team to get into the department and stuff like that. But and all of them were there. My two older brothers and my sister. So my dad, him and I had this estranged relationship, and he just didn't agree with the way I lived and drank. And I can understand it. So, giving everybody that their own time and their own way of going about trying to handle life, and so you got to give them that love and patience of whatever their perspective is and what they went through. Because who am I to say, as you were talking about too, how your parents grew up in two different areas in a time and then coming together. And so I believe generationally, if you don't deal with the pain and the trauma, the emotions and feelings want out one way or another. And if your parents don't deal with it, it's going to drop into us, and it's going to continue. That generational, as they would say in our belief system, generational curses, or just the generational behaviors. So if dad doesn't deal, if mom doesn't get that healing, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them and the way they lived, they did the best they could with what they had.
Yeah.
But it does pass down.
Yeah.
So the drinking passed down. Yeah. But in any case, I'm so blessed to have that relationship with him today. Mom passed, and here's another nugget that she gave me when I said I was lost. I mean, dude, it was so bad. And I had my face in my hands, and I was just kind of rocking and crying, and I'm just so lost, Mom. I'm just so lost. And by that time, she had moved into my little apartment with me. She was older. And she just sat down with me, and she's like, son, just because your path looks different doesn't mean you're lost. And I was just like...
Dude, Mom's dropping some bangers, bro.
I
That's
know,
good.
right? And, so many people, understandably wrote me off.
Yeah.
And I just was like, okay, I'm going to understand that they have a right to do that. We all have a right of how we're doing this thing, life. And give them that patience and peace and love of how they saw me in that just mess.
Yeah.
And I was starting to get angry. And now that I've gone through healing, what's the anger for? Others are seeing me just burn down.
Yeah.
What am I asking them to stick around?
Yeah.
Would I? I don't know.
Yeah.
And those that did, kudos. Love you, Hoff.
Well, I would say
shout out.
those are your
Steph.
That's your true friends.
Yeah.
Those are true people that love you. Because even when I was going through the toughest point in my life, there was people who called themselves quote unquote Christians, that the good time Christians, what I call them, right? They're around for the happy times.
Yeah.
Even the ones that weren't believers. But then when you go through the tough times, they're not answering the phone. Where are they? They're gone.
Well, yeah.
You're just like, what the heck?
So I said this to my dad. I said, so if you can't handle me at my worst, what makes you think you should receive me at my best?
Yeah.
But he was like, well, what did you expect me to do, son? Because by having you around me, my belief was that I was approving of what you were doing. And I was like, damn.
That's a good point.
Okay. I mean, that's a valid point
That's a valid
by
point.
Dad, right? So, how do you figure that out? But definitely, put a hand out.
Yeah.
Man, I'm seeing my little bro. I'm seeing my friend. I'm seeing my cousin, brother, sister. I'm not saying, poor me, pity me.
Yeah.
A lot of it, my decision to not get help and continue the burning.
Yeah.
So, But just, do you need something?
Yeah, it bothers. Here's the thing for me, Anthony, is it bothers me when people are only around for the good time, because I'm not that way. I'm not going to expect everyone to be like me and love like I do. But I've had friends going through some wild things that I will never air out that, I'm like, okay, let's figure it out. I'm not going anywhere. What do you need? But there's so many people that I call them the boomerang friends. I talked about this in our sermon.
You did.
They're only there.
Familiar.
Yeah, I'm like, they're only around for the good times. They're gone, and then as soon as things get better, they're back. And they're, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not my good friends. If you're not with me during the tough or during my mistakes, I don't want you around when I'm doing great. I just don't. That's not me, man. I'm
gonna get vulnerable for a second.
Yeah.
You saying that? I wonder now that my mental wellness.
Yeah.
That's out there, and continually putting it out there to get vulnerable, to go save that one, help, assist. I can't save anybody. I'm sorry. Misspoke. To go help or assist. I wonder if my friends look at me like, man, that guy's like bat crazy, and we have to tippy toe around him. Because I feel bad because, growing up with them, We've been through the thick and thin, and they're still here. Yeah, but I don't want them. I don't want anybody around me to feel in a way.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking out loud.
No, I feel you on that one. But I mean, the reality is, people are judging us anyways. So do your thing.
That's true.
I mean, that's one way I think of it sometimes. But do they feel that way? Maybe some of them do sometimes. But the fact that they're still around says enough.
That's
I mean, it's they may feel that way. Right. There's some people I'm around.
Go friends.
Yeah, I'm like, you're kind of freaking crazy, but I love you, man. Like, I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
If they feel that way, I mean, does it matter, though?
Yeah, it's allotted me for more patience, because I've seen how much my wife has had.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say I'm wrong. She's a kindergarten. She's a kinder teacher, which is probably why she's married to me, because she has the patience to deal with them. She can definitely handle me.
Oh, God bless her, bro.
Right?
That's rough.
But she's got a love for it. So, I mean, there's a...
Dude, you want to talk about patience? Can I tell you about what happened to me at the airport yesterday?
Okay.
We were supposed to talk about this.
Yeah, that's right. I'm glad.
So, I'm supposed to fly out to Texas to go help out a family member. Okay. So, I get to LAX, and I had relief at work come in early.
So you're physically there.
Yeah. So I worked all this stuff out to have this guy come in early, get home. My sister picks me up, takes me to the airport. I get there. This is on Delta. I'm going to fly to Austin. Okay. My flight is supposed to leave at 11:02. On the way to the airport at about 8:30 in the morning, I get a text. Hey, your flight's delayed to 12:30. I'm like, oh. So my sister's like, you want to go home? I'm like, no, it's cool. Like, I got American Express. Like, I can go sit in the lounge. It's free food, coffee. Like, I'm cool. I'm going to chill. I'll read my book, do my thing, right? Then the next thing you know, I'm sitting in the lounge doing my thing. It's 12 o'clock. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going to walk over to do my thing and check in. Your flight is now delayed to 1:50. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, you're an hour and 15
all right, no big deal. So I stay in the lounge, do my thing. Well, then I go to my terminal. I get over there, and it's packed, right? It's Sunday. Everyone's trying to go home and do their thing. I get it. And they get us on the plane. They load us on. And they say, everyone, we need you to board the plane. They literally said we lost our pilots and a flight attendant. There's no pilots.
How does... I don't even know. Bro, I don't even know where to go with that. Bro, I'm kind of like...
Listen, bro, I'm telling you right now,
do they have like emergency standby crews? I'm not sure.
I don't know,
but we just lost everyone.
Yeah, so then we did board the plane. People are upset. They are mad. I'm talking F-bombs.
You just lost the crew? I mean...
Dude, we lost our pilots and a flight attendant. And I remember looking, I was like, are they serious? And they're like, we need everyone to stand up, get your things, and leave. Okay, so get off the plane. Everyone's mad. Like, F-bombs being dropped. Yeah. People are cussing. They're at the counter. Hands are being waved. Like, very emotional, right? And I'm sitting there. I'm just like, dude, I've been at this airport since 9 in the morning. This is crazy. This is madness, right? Then they get over the intercom. We don't know when we're going to have pilots. So we have no idea when your plane's going to take off.
Okay.
So I was just like, I called my family. I said, hey, I'm going to take this as a sign I'm not supposed to come. So I'm going to cancel my flights and I'm going to go home. So it's now 2:10. I remember it was 2:10. Cancel flight. Been there since about 8:45, 9 o'clock at the airport, right? So now in my head, I'm thinking, I just came to the airport to sit in the lounge, eat a free breakfast, have coffee, and read a book for about 8 hours, or whatever it is, 6 hours.
Yeah.
I get out. I go to like at LAX, you have to walk to where your Uber, like this certain part where the Uber is. I can't remember what it's called, but they can't drive in the normal terminal. They got to go to this separate parking lot.
Right.
So there's a shuttle that takes you, but there's so much traffic. The shuttle, like it should take 5 minutes, just a quick go around. 50 minutes. 50 minutes from Terminal 3. Oh, dude, no, it's
I'm laughing at your pain, dude. I mean, I am. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm laughing at his pain.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
So I was like, forget it. I'm just going to walk. So then I walk the 1.5 miles or 2 miles, whatever it is, all the way to this parking lot that's just outside like LAX, right? And I get there, I call for an Uber. It's an 1.5 hour wait. And it was $130 to go from LAX to Long Beach. Dude, just the injury, the mental stress, and just
the anguish.
Dude, the anguish, the patience, the anger. And I was just like, just be cool.
You know what, dude? You basically, you said challenge accepted.
Well,
I mean, and
my thought was like, what's it going to do if I get upset right now? I'm not going to treat my Uber driver like crap. It's not his fault.
You're definitely not. Well, even in the midst of it, you're not going to get a pilot.
Right.
But you know what? Like they say, is there a doctor in the house? I probably would have screamed that. Is there a pilot in the house?
Dude, I couldn't believe that happened. I was at the airport all day. I didn't get home until 3:45.
Oh, man.
Or no, was it 4:45? I can't remember. It was late.
That's a good amount.
Yeah, I was there for...
What's that movie with Tom Hanks where he just lives? Oh, Terminal.
Dude.
Yeah, lives in the Terminal.
It was terrible. I couldn't
You're like, where's the bathroom? Like, it's right over there. And like, or can we get something to eat? Do you want a hamburger? I already know the place. I've been here for a while.
Dude, I got home. I threw all my stuff down, put my board shorts, t-shirt on, a jacket, and threw my flip-flops on and drove straight to the beach just to get I was like, I'm in a weird headspace right now.
Yeah.
I need to just go hang out at the beach. So I went and hung out at the beach for the evening.
Oh, man.
It was wild, dog.
That'll take that. Well, that's a record. You're trying to break records.
Yeah, that was an interesting experience. Very interesting experience. That's all I could say. Is like that's the first time I heard we lost our pilots. We don't know what happened to them.
That is just such a weird statement.
Yeah, I don't get it, dog. I don't get it. Anyways, that's my story on patience.
Well, you proved it. You proved it.
Yeah, it was. I hate going to LAX. That's all I got to say.
You know, the airport's the airport. So I know what I'm getting myself into.
Yeah.
And I don't rattle it. I've actually met, it's another little interesting side clip, Hillary Swank. I meet some celebrities not in Hollywood, except for this.
Actually, hold that thought.
Yeah, go ahead.
When I was leaving.
I'll go ahead. It's your...
Yeah, no, I was leaving my terminal to go to the Uber or whatever. I passed Caitlyn Jenner. I said, hey, Caitlyn. I said, hi.
Okay.
Waved at each other.
Oh, yeah.
Freaking hug.
Nice.
That was it.
Nice person.
Tall person.
Yeah.
She also has big shoulders.
Oh, well, I mean, swimmer, right? Diver?
Yeah.
Wait, swimmer. Whatever.
I think decathlete or something.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, overachiever.
Woman. Yeah, that's a big woman.
Yeah.
Big
okay.
Woman. But yeah, that's
and you're a tall guy, so for you to say that, it's something.
She was tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean that was that night, same night or just
same
a different
day?
Wow.
Same day.
So that was I don't know.
Yeah, let's say going along the lines of what you said, like meeting people at the airport, famous people.
Yeah. Well, I've met two. It was Hillary Swank. She was standing in the normal line, and a bunch of people came out and rushed her out of that. But I talked to her doing the whole, like, I know you from somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up in San Clemente. Are you from around here? She looked at me, laughed, and then she got, whisked away. And then Tom Petty.
You saw Tom Petty?
Tom Petty at John Wayne.
Oh, nice,
I know we're going off topic here, but
I love it.
I've seen Ponch up in the Monterey Bay area. Eric Estrada.
Dude.
Yeah, John Cena when he was engaged to the other wrestler, the twins, the Bella twins.
Yeah.
They were in La Jolla. Just random.
That's super random, dude.
Anyway.
No, it's all good, man.
We just went from wellness to patience to love to
No,
God.
we're going to go back to wellness.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to get in contact with your organization, can you say the name and how they can do that? And if you have an Instagram handle.
Yes. So we have a number that is direct and specific. So can I grab?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So our number for Frontline Behavioral Wellness is going to be, and by the way, I'm giving another shout out. So I went to a first responder treatment center. I'm going to play naive that everyone's in it for the game to help. Because for me to accidentally find that there was something like that for us, it shattered my world to think that we had a place to go. Because, like I said, I was years out and didn't have any idea of what help looked like. Yeah. And I didn't know that there was a label to it. I didn't know that there was such things as hypervigilance and insomnia and the alcoholism, additionally added, as you had said before, what came first.
Yeah.
And, the department or EMS just put probably the icing on the cake for me from the childhood to...
Oh, everything we see in the fire service. It's wild.
So I just want to say thank you also to Caravon. She's the one who had the first responder treatment center, and the 3 other first responders I was there with are my friends to this day. A few of them came to my wedding.
Oh, I love it.
We all still talk group text. And so because of her holding it, I was there to go get sober. I was there to realize that there was help. So you're going to contact Caravon and her phone number. So she is available. This woman's dedicated and is available. So her phone number, should have it on speed now, is, bear with me, 661-877-7241.
Okay.
So I appreciate you
absolutely.
allotting the time for that.
Yeah, no, I'm a huge supporter of, first responder mental health, even our veterans, just because I come from a military home.
Yeah.
But more importantly, our firefighters, just because I am one. I have many friends that are firefighters and many that have gone through some very difficult times because of the mental health struggle, the decisions that they've made because of their struggles that led down to darker paths. And I just know there's such a huge need there. And I want our fellow firefighters to know it's okay to say you need help.
Yeah.
There's no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with it. I've raised my hand and said I needed help, and I've used Counseling Team International that my department gives for us. So it's important. Yeah. Just like your physical health, your spiritual health is important. Your mental health is also important. There's no male bravado behind this. There's no ego. All that needs to go out the window because you do matter. Your life is very important, and what we do on a day-to-day basis is very difficult, and I don't think people understand that. And I don't think even firefighters understand that it's a difficult thing. Yeah. It's not normal to see people die every time you go to work. It's not normal to be doing CPR and then delivering a baby, and then you're fighting a fire, you're pulling a burn victim out. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
And then you just keep pushing that down, and then you're expected to go home and be a father, a husband, a brother, uncle, cousin in normal life, and something's going to give. There will be something that will give one day, whether it's a call or something happens at home in your marriage. And we don't want to see any of that happen. I don't. I'd rather us be proactive and understand that if we can do it, myself and Anthony and others that have reached out for help, you can. And it's totally okay. There's no shame in that. There's no names that have to be involved. Just give that number a call or call somebody else for help and seek it. Yep. It's all totally okay.
And two, with you, like confidentiality is huge.
Yeah.
Like if we, as peer support, like if we don't have that, or a team or a treatment center, we have and make sure that confidentiality and privacy is in check because of everything you explained. We're not used to this.
No, No. It's not open in the fire service to do this, but I'm hoping that as time goes on, we have more of these conversations, more of the night for that event, and people realize, we're all going through something. We all struggle. And what we do and what we see on this job is not normal. It's not what people think or understand. It's not what they advertise for this job either. Raise your hand. It's cool. Talk to somebody. It's okay to not be okay is what I want to say pretty much.
Yeah.
We're human beings. We can only take so much.
Yeah. And, with all the shout outs that I've done through your podcast, another one who says exactly that is, she doesn't like to be called doctor. She has, so Heather Williams.
Okay. I think I met her, right?
Yeah.
Or didn't she at the event?
She wasn't, but.
No, I met two other females.
Yeah.
I can't remember who they were.
And she's given me some space to, come out and tell some of my story. And she's been an amazing forefront as a therapist to continually help the first responder community.
Yeah.
So Heather Williams, thank you for giving space for that.
Dude, it's awesome. And
she says that.
Before we go, you've also been on another podcast, Grab Lives with John, right?
Yeah.
John Vargas?
Yeah. So,
awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So Grab Lives was on that a couple months ago, and we talked mostly about mental wellness and some of my story and connecting it from the title of that episode was Domino Effect. And it was just talking about and connecting and linking my childhood to the way I played sports, to how it all fell through from my upbringing into the department and how everything kind of, fell apart.
Yeah.
And resurfaced.
Well, dude, I can tell you this, Anthony. I'm proud of you, man.
Dude, that means a lot.
To know where you've been and how far you've come is a testament to your grit, to your character, to your faith. And I think it's only going to continue to grow, and you're going to continue to help people. So just keep going, man. I know there's days where we're pumped and we're psyched, and there's other days where you're just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm discouraged. That happened to me today. I was like, man, I'm so discouraged today. Like, this isn't working. Where's this going? Why am I putting time here? And then I come and we talk, and you're talking about, the event and what I said and how it spoke to you. I was like, oh, shoot, that's cool. Like, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
So thank you for coming to that, honestly. That was our first one, our first annual one, dude. And we're hoping that it turns into something annually. It just continues to grow. That's the whole goal.
Agree.
So
in prayer,
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, but again, thank you so much. And there's a challenge coin for you there on the table under your phone. That's our challenge coin. We're getting new ones coming back in. The quote on the back is Mark Twain: 2 most important days of your life, when you're born and when you find out why. It's my favorite quote.
Right, purpose.
Yeah, it's purpose. I love it, man. But before we go, if you don't mind, dude, I've never done this before.
Okay.
I'm just feeling it right now. I want to pray for you, dude.
Oh,
if you're cool with that. Let's do it. Heavenly Father, thank you for my friend Anthony, that we can do this podcast and be on here, and that he has the courage to talk about where he's been, what he's done, and what he's been through, and how he's trusted you and what he's done to get himself better. Lord, continue to bless his life. Continue to bless what he's doing, the organization he's in. Lord, please guide both of us to continue and help our fellow first responders, and let them see that there's hope and that there's light in you, and that they can reach out, and it's okay to not be okay. And I just pray, Lord, that you protect our first responders. There's some I don't like, and that's okay. But there's still people that I serve with, and I still love them. Please protect them. Please be with them, Lord, and let them see who you are, and that it's okay that they can reach out and seek help. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on. I've never done that. That was interesting.
Blessed.
It's all good, but we used to do a let's go on 3. You ready?
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for listening in. If you liked what you just listened to, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and on Spotify. Please follow us on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And a big shout out to Stephen Clark, our sound editor. He's a huge part of this team that is unseen. It's 89 Barbers, our first sponsor. Look good, feel good, be great. That's 2 locations, Orange, California, and Long Beach, California. Book your appointment online, 89barbers.com. Bye, everybody.